Okay, so there is a lot of new people here, but I figured it might be time to reintroduce myself. My name is Dakota Lee. I was born with a gift to see into the world beyond this one, and it has gotten stronger as I have gotten older. I saw angels for the first time when I was 8. I saw Jesus for the first time when I was 10. And when I was 12 years old, God did something really extraordinary with me. He started letting me visit heaven. There have been different points in my life where I tried to tell more of this, and I have some clips of like 14-year-old me talking about pretty much the same stuff that I'm talking about now, except now I have so much more depth after over 15 years of visiting heaven. That's pretty cool to be able to say. I'm going to answer some questions that I have seen about me. I had my first vision when I was 4 years old, and thank goodness my mom had enough faith to ask me more about it. She typed it out and wrote it down, and we still have it. And that was really crucial, because if she had shut me down, I don't think I would have this gift to visit heaven. God has kind of grown me as time has gone along. When I was 8 years old, my family switched from the Methodist church to Word of Faith non-denominational church, and I loved it. Let me tell you, I soaked that up like chocolate milk. Oh, it was wonderful. We had praise and worship. The people were loud and excited and expressive, and kids' church was so fun. And they talked about angels, and they said that everyone has a guardian angel, and they're right here. And oh, I was so hooked. I started looking around the church. I was looking for anybody that might be an angel, and when nobody obviously stepped forward with like a giant pair of wings, after a few Sundays, I was like, okay, maybe I have to look a little beyond. And I had I guess you could say sort of forgotten about the fact that I had visions when I was a lot littler, before I was in school, and a little bit into like first and second grade, but it had paused by the time I had gotten to that age. I just tried to look for angels, and at the dinner table, something amazing happened. I saw, like as fast as a camera flash, angels. And I remember saying, Mom, Dad, I see angels. I see angels behind you. And I'm pretty sure everyone like stopped mid-chew as I was just looking behind them. And these angels were very, very tall, holding themselves very still. They had this glow, definitely gold. Sometimes I really feel like God's favorite color might be gold, because there's gold everything in heaven. And every time I see angels and I look at them, I can usually see flecks of gold. And these angels were the first angels I ever saw, had tons of flecks of gold. They had kind of an androgynous look. Their hair was to about here, very similar faces, but there were differences. They were not clones of each other. And looking back, I believe they were holding themselves really still, so still, almost statue still, because they knew that I could barely see, because I could only see at the length of a camera flash. And I would do this thing where it was like I don't know how to even describe it, but it's almost like there was a muscle behind my eye that would like try to push to see, and I saw these angels. And I described them to my parents, and they didn't shut me down. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, brother. Because again, when you're a child, you're so vulnerable at this stage. And I've heard, I can't even tell you the amount of stories I've heard of people who probably had some sort of gift when they were younger, and they tried to tell someone about it, and it was either like, yeah, okay, or squash, or just not believed. Like, even if no one was cruel about it, you can tell when someone doesn't believe you. And yet my parents were trying to grow in faith, and they supported me. From there, I continued seeking God. I started to tell the people at church what I was seeing. It was so cool, is the stuff that I would see would match up with what was in the Bible. So for example, as my sight got stronger and I could see for longer stretches of time, I could see angels standing next to people, whispering good things to them. And it turns out, I later learned in the Bible that angels are ministering spirits, literally ministering to us and feeding good things into our spirit, or that's one of their jobs. And so that was something that matched. Another thing about angels that matched that I saw, and I kind of had to go out of my house to see this, and more in school I saw a lot more of this, but angels would carry weapons like swords, spears. Honestly, I've seen pretty much every kind of weapon except for a gun. Fascinating, right? So I don't know if like the weapons technology stopped in terms of development in heaven, but angels would carry weapons, and then you read in different places in the Bible, and it's often referred to as God's angel armies, and armies are designed to fight. And turns out the angels that I was seeing had things that they could fight with. And I will say there were definitely periods of time where I just didn't talk about what I was seeing because I was worried about, am I just nuts? And I think anybody who might have this sort of gift, you definitely go through that. But the difference for me is that my experiences match up with the Bible. And if they don't seem to match up with the Bible, then I kind of do a deeper dive and find that in the context of what Paul or Jesus really meant to say, it does match up with what they're saying. And also there are other people who have seen heaven, but even more exciting to me is there's other people who have seen Jesus, and they confirm that he looks like the Jesus that I'm seeing. So I have another video about that. Go check that out in my profile, what Jesus looks like. And then check out the other one of Jesus isn't white, because I know he looks white in those paintings, but there is more to that story. Some fun facts about me. I love my animals. I've got one right here, another next to me, another outside the door because he couldn't calm down for me to make this video. I have a horse. I'm blessed to have a horse. My bread and butter currently is coaching. So people who've been stuck in their relationship with God for a really long time, I do coaching to kind of jumpstart that relationship. Seen some really beautiful things. Also, if you have a spiritual gift, you don't know what to do with it, that can be really helpful. Everything is Christ-centered. The Bible is extremely important to me, and thank you for being here. And I'm so excited to serve you with more stories of our amazing God, amazing Jesus, and amazing heaven.